5G connected city will enable the next version of the digital city. So you could say the old-fashioned smart cities was about sensing. 5G is much more about acting. So when you talk about self-driving cars, when you talk about operating in hospitals where the doctor is somewhere else, this is going to be the change. The 5G city is going to be much more about action. With 5G, we can control things far away in real time. So for instance, if a car is about to crash, it is actually possible to do corrective action from afar, not just with the onboard computer, but integrating sensors and also operators far away from the car. So this is a completely different way of applying safety measures to these autonomous services. So we can essentially say that what is happening is that the supply side and the demand side, so the companies and the cities, are trying to meet in a market. But actually none of them can define the terms on which they should meet. The Open and Agile Smart Cities Initiative tries in a very focused way to be the voice of cities in Europe, globally, into the specification and standardization of technologies. Clearly, it's a huge benefit not just to be one city going to the market, but be more than 100 cities saying to the market, actually, we have some terms for you. We see the smart cities landscape today as super fragmented. What we need is not more standards. We need to turn the whole thing around and keep it simple and try to see what would work everywhere. So this is the mission of the OSC. Organicity is a project where cities that have an ambition to include the citizens in shaping the future cities go together and do this in an experimental way. But it's easy to do one experiment, but it's also very expensive. What these cities, it's London, it's Santander, it's Aarhus in Denmark, and then many cities around, what they need is a managed service to make experimentation easy, so that you don't do 100 different experiments as a fragmented exercise, but you do it in a managed way so you can learn from the different experiments. So actually, all the members in the global Open Agile Smart Cities Initiative can benefit from the learnings and developments in projects like organicity, experimentation as a service, or synchronicity, which is about scaling and doing large-scale pilots. Now, the next thing we do is we invite providers, SMEs, bigger players to come and show how their services can be rolled out on these minimal interoperability mechanism supported ways, so that a city can use and take a service that it's seen in another city and actually deploy locally, but the principles are the same. So the more than 100 cities in the Open Agile Smart Cities Initiative are continuously rolling out new services, and they are quite successful. We could name many in wastewater management, in open data management, in innovation processes, in mobility services. To be even more specific, the city of Aarhus in Denmark had a vision that biking should be really well facilitated by the city. Okay, so there's a biking infrastructure, but they went even further. They would like to give green light priority for the bikes in some of the central zones. So they did an experimentation innovation process, and now they have green light priority using IoT technologies in these central biking zones. And that can be used in other cities immediately. So there's been a big shift in the driving forces, which are now, in fact, more and more the local governments, the cities, and the ecosystems around that. I mean, somebody has to do it, otherwise we get a bad digital environment. So what's really the problem here isn't that the world is lacking money. It's lacking bankable investments with the right logic. And at the moment, the driving logic is not a business case or return on investment. It is actually investing in the digital transformation for the greater good of the community. And this is a very difficult thing to quantify or to make a very hard argument for. So that's why it's so difficult from a political level to drive digital transformation.